welcome. Let's try to solve another Leetcode problem 409, longest palindrome. So for this problem, let's first try to understand what exactly is the problem. We are given a string S, which consists of lowercase or uppercase letters, and we're going to return the length of the longest palindrome that can be built with those letters. So the letters are kept as live. For example, A and A, capital A and A are not considered a palindrome because they are different. Yeah, and this string consists of lowercase and uppercase letters, and we're going to return the length of the longest palindrome that can be built with those letters. So what does that mean? So if we are just reading the description, we might not understand what is exactly the meaning of the problem. Yeah, so what is the meaning of the build? Maybe we need to take the example to understand what it is. So for this example, the longest palindrome that can be built is, this is a build. This means all the positions of the characters can be rearranged. We have never told that from the description, but for the examples, we should know that. So this means that the position can be changed. If the position cannot be changed, so it's gonna be another case. Yeah, we need to solve it in another way. But currently, as the positions can be changed, so it's gonna become easier for us to solve. Yeah. So we just need to use a counter to count how many characters of each one. So if the count is, so let's just use this example. If the count is even, for example, 6, we have how many 6? We have 4 6. So definitely all those 6 can be used because we want to find the longest palindrome. So for example, the D, it can be used, so it's going to plus 2. So what about A? There's only one A, so it can be used, but it can be only used once. So the longest is going to be 7. Yeah. But what if there are 3 A's? So it's going to plus 3. Yeah. So we should understand that. So what about we have 3 B's as well? Yeah. But we cannot plus 3. We can only plus 2. Because if the number of characters is even, it is okay. We can plus all of them. But if it is odd, we must plus the length to be even. So if it is B, we're going to plus. If it is 3, we're going to plus 3 minus 1. But finally, we need to check if this 3 include some counters with character, maybe odd. If it is include odd, we need to plus another one. Otherwise, we don't need. Yeah. So if it is even, we're going to plus all of them. So if it is odd, we're going to plus this odd minus 1, and we're going to plus this odd 3 minus 1. And finally, as we find, there are going to be some odd numbers of characters. Finally, we need to plus 1. So this is the basic idea. So let's just use some basic data structures in Java to solve the problem. So it's going to be a map. So the map is going to be character and integer. So we're gonna define maybe I'm gonna use a variable counter. So the counter is gonna be new as map. Now we just need to check all the characters one by one. So for characters inside, as we cannot use it directly, so we have to use a method to character array of s dot to character array. So we're going to turn it into a character array, and then we can check the characters one by one. And then we're going to put it inside a hash table. So we're going to use the counter dot put with this character. Yeah. Here we're going to use a counter dot get or default. As there are so many methods, we have to remember. Yeah. Otherwise, we have to check which kind of method we can use. So normally, in an interview, we cannot check it. We have to remember all those kind of methods. Yeah. So we can use get or default with this character set. If we cannot find it, we're gonna set it as a 0. Yeah. And then we're gonna plus 1. So this is how to update the counter. So for example, how many A's, we're gonna update it. If there's nothing inside, we're gonna update it with 1. If there's something inside, we're gonna update it. We're gonna find how many of them plus 1. We're gonna update it like that. Yeah. Now we have the counter. Let's just define some variables to find how many of them. We're gonna define integer. So I'm gonna define even count equal to 0, and has odd. I'm gonna define has odd as a boolean value. So it's gonna be a false from the beginning. So this is gonna be a boolean value. Yeah. Now we just need to check the values of the counter one by one. So for int v of counter dot values, this is similar to Python. Yeah. So we're gonna check how many of them, and if this value is even, and we just needed to update the even counter plus this v, and yeah, do we need to do anything else? I think that's all about it. Yeah. So if it is odd, so the even code gonna plus equal to v minus 1, and we need to update the boolean value has odd gonna be true, because yeah, so definitely it is inside. So finally we're gonna return the result according to the has odd. If it is true, it's gonna be the even code plus 1. So otherwise it's gonna be the even code. Yeah. So this is the basic idea of how to solve the problem. Now let me just run it. What is wrong? Yeah, I made a mistake of a typo. It should be character. Yeah, now as you can see it works. Now let me just submit it. Yeah, as you can see it passed for testing cases, and I think the speed is okay. The time complexity is all in. We just needed to check how many characters. So for here we build a counter, so the time complexity is all in and space complexity is all in. So here we just need to use the counter to check how many of them, and if how to find the longest. Yeah, I think that's all about it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.